Some controversial price changes for Unity, the game engine serving as the foundation for a ton of games, big and small, has ironically been tearing the gaming industry apart this week. We'll try to lay it all out.
And PlayStation and Nintendo had directs showing off a bunch of exciting stuff this week. We're going to talk about all this stuff and a whole bunch more right now on Gaming News Weekly. What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of Gaming News Weekly, the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're bringing you all the biggest things happening in the video game industry, coming to you on Fruit Lab, YouTube, podcast services, everywhere. GNW. It's all you got to know. 3 little letters, and then you'll be full of information about all the things, everything. My name is E-Rock the Red. Joined every single week by this man right here, Full Clip. How are you, dude? What's going on?
What's up? You know, that was a hell of an intro. Almost blasted me back in the seat there.
Dude, I am fired up.
Let's keep that energy up.
Yeah, dude, it's the weather's changing. It's like that fall. We got that fall. Look at me. I got my little hoodie flannel on, dude. I'm ready to go. It's really pointy. I don't know if I like that. It looks weird.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's like, dude, I'm super excited that I feel like I don't feel the need to like force myself to go outside and play or do yard work or whatever. Now it's getting a little chill in the air. I just sit with a nice cup of cocoa, play some video games. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not quite in that mindset yet. I want to hit the lake up one more time this summer.
All right, well, hit the lake up, dude. Get out there because your time is running out.
Oh yeah.
What have you been up to? Just hitting the lake?
No, unfortunately not. I wish I were. Been playing a little bit of Titanfall 2 this past week, though, and that's been fun. Have you heard of the little bit of a revival going on?
No, tell me.
All right, so this is going to get into some news, and we'll just say it now so it doesn't have to come up later in the show.
I want to know.
So
I did see a little snippet that there was like updates or something, right?
Yeah. So the game was updated officially for the first time in a while, I guess. I didn't know it was so broken, but apparently it was, and people were having to use an alternative launcher or something instead of the regular Steam version, using maybe non-official servers, if I understand that correctly. But what's happening now, they had this massive Steam sale for the past couple of weeks and running to the 18th. The Ultimate Edition of Titanfall 2 was only $2.99, and I believe different regions are also pretty similar in price.
Right.
Yeah, so it bumped up the player count to a pretty good number for a game from, I think, 2016. So it's how old is that? Like,
yeah.
I'm bad at math. I'm very bad at math.
7 years?
6-7 years.
2016? Yeah.
Yeah, 7-year-old game. But this is coming while we're also getting some hints. With these updates came these plushie dolls in the game in Titanfall 2, hidden around the maps of Nessie, who's a character from Apex Legends. I don't know that much about Apex Legends, but apparently that's a big deal. And at the end of the patch notes for Apex Legends, there's an Easter egg that says like incoming transmission, and it has something about Nessie, and then it had 3 codes which were like some sort of programming language timestamp. And each of those corresponded to the launch dates of Titanfall 1, 2, and Apex Legends. So, maybe Titanfall 3?
That would be dope. I do remember, like, aren't there those Nessie things in Apex, too? Like, hidden in certain areas? I think I remember seeing those years ago,
Might be
maybe,
what it is.
when it came out. But, I don't know. But that's really cool. I bought the Titanfall, like, the thing on the previous Steam sale, like 6 months ago. I got it for the same price, $3, and I haven't, just because I heard it runs great on the Steam Deck, the campaign that is. I never even thought about jumping into the multiplayer. Then I watched your video that you put out. Would you play in the multiplayer? And I was like, oh my god, it just brought back. It was such a good game, dude. It's such a fun game.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing about Titanfall and playing that attrition mode. You don't have to like no-life the game to be effective in that mode, because you can just kill grunts and kill the specters and things. The PvE part of it, and
right.
don't focus so much on the other pilots until you get in your Titan, and then you can start
Exactly.
really messing stuff up and being effective without being
Yeah.
no life.
I remember when that first came out, I hadn't played much first person shooters, and that's exactly what I did. Like, I would just like kill enough people, like the grunts and stuff like that, to get my Titan, and then I'm having a blast. I'm out there, and then like I might lose my Titan, and then I would go back to square one. And then you get better and better. Yeah, that's a fun game. But yeah, I definitely want to get back in there, especially after seeing you play it. I also played an older, not as old, first-person shooter, but I played some Modern Warfare 2 this past week. I did. I bought a new solid-state drive for my PlayStation extender, so I got another terabyte. First thing I did was put on Modern Warfare 2, since I didn't have room for it previously. And yeah, I got in there. I had a lot of fun. I just played some multiplayer. And I was like, yeah, I remember, like, it's fun to just jump in, play like, 4 or 5 games and then go play something else. And that's basically what I did. I played that, and then I would go play, when I would get like bored or annoyed, I went and played Sea of Stars, and I'm having a blast playing Sea of Stars too. It's a nice. Like combination of, something to just get my adrenaline going, get that competitive nature if I need to, and then go have like an enjoyable experience where there's like no like competitive nature or no like real worry about anything in Sea of Stars. And it's been nice. It's been enjoyable.
You found that balance. That's good.
I did.
Yeah. So in Modern Warfare 2, did you see like Homelander and Starlight running around yet?
I didn't, but I saw some Nicki Minaj. So that was exciting. But yeah, I didn't see any of the other, a lot of Pink. I saw a lot of Pink. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Should we move things along?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's talk about our new releases from this past week. All right, first up, Eternights came out on PC, PS4, and PS5 on September 12th. This one is a action role-playing game / dating sim. So it reminds me a lot of the Persona series. The only difference being it's not turn-based like that. This is more of like a hack and slash fighter. It's got like a combo system. And you got like this weird like sword arm thing that you could, I don't know. It looks cool. The whole premise is that it's like a post-apocalyptic world where like people have turned into monsters and there's only a certain number of people left and you got to date them or something.
Yeah. I watched the trailer. That was the strangest part because you're like looking at the cool battle scenes and then the character's like, should we go on a date?
Yep. This is where it got me. I'm like, yep,
oh yeah.
This game's for me right here.
All about that
fight
teen
monsters and go get with some fresh hotties. But yeah, and then I guess so. It's like got dungeons. It's like not so much like a dungeon crawler, but you go into you have to like plan your day, much like the Persona games, where like you have the opportunity. You're like, okay, I could go on a date, or I could go in this dungeon, kill monsters, and like level up. And you have to like balance your work / love life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. But I guess it all depends on the monsters and the baddies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that one looks funny. Is that something that that you'd be interested in checking out?
It looks cool. I mean, if I ever have the opportunity to see it on Game Pass or something, I might install it, try it out.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. All right, next up, Axolotl came out September 14th on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, and Nintendo Switch. This is a top-down, like bullet hell, kind of like a Vampire Survivors style game. It's a roguelike. It's just, you play as an axolotl with an AK. So that's where the title comes from. AK Solotl, like Solotl. But I guess there's like a ton of other different guns, a bunch of cool bosses, like power-ups, which make it like, they're randomized. Everything's randomized, which make it that roguelike word. And then like, you got to collect baby axolotls called axolotls, and they give you bonuses or something. I really don't know. But this game looks dope, and I am excited to check it out.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun. It reminded me of that Super Animal Royale sort of mixed with a Binding of Isaac because it's got that top-down pixel style.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the characters are very strange. And yeah, they're all animals and they're like different. They look real cool. Like the bosses and everything have a unique style to them as far as like, they look menacing, but also cute. Yeah. Which is my favorite thing in games. Things that could look menacing, but also cute. Like me, personally. Menacing, but also cute. And then the Crew Motorfest came out on September 14th on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, X, and S. This is the next game in the Crew racing series. It's like an open world racer. In a lot of ways similar to like the Forza series. This one, you're just racing around Oahu, the Hawaiian island, which is nice because there's like beaches you race around and a volcano that you could climb up. But I guess there's like hundreds of licensed vehicles and a bunch of different race types. There's like demolition derbies. There's a ton of stuff in this game. It looks action-packed. What is your thought on this one? I know you like to dabble in the racing titles.
Yeah, I haven't played this, but I did watch somebody stream it last night for a little bit, and I asked in the chat, would you say that this is a markable difference or an upgrade behind the Crew 2? And they said absolutely. And that it's kind of somewhere in between. If you had Forza on the scale and you had Need for Speed on the other end of the scale, it's somewhere in between those two. And I can see that through the play, and I think that's probably kind of fun because it's got a little bit for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think that's very well put. Yeah, it does have that, it's got all the licensed vehicles and stuff if you're into that, like more sim style racer, but it's very arcadey in all the features and everything that it provides. It's not like super like power ups and boosts and shit like that, but it's not like a racing sim or anything like that.
Yeah. And it had some real world tie-ins that seemed pretty cool, like the Gumball 3000 race. You can, I guess, race that race.
That's awesome.
And I saw going through the menus, they had like a section or maybe a featured playlist or something with Donut Media, who's a car automotive YouTube channel.
Yes. Yeah, I did see that in one of the trailers that I watched, and I was like, that's very cool that they're bringing in that sort of stuff. So, all right, and then, there were some other games notable. Dune Spice Wars came out of early access. That's like a RTS game. It's getting a lot of love. Everybody's saying it's an amazing game, very well done, especially if you're a fan of the Dune series, which I am. I'm torn because I don't like real-time strategy games, but I love Dune, so I'm like, maybe I'll check it out. The font on it looks like it might be a little too small for me to play on the Steam Deck, though, so yeah, we'll see. And then Mortal Kombat 1, the official release we'll talk about in next week's show, but it's out now in early access for people that bought the special edition, and it has the review embargo is lifted too, and it's currently at an 85 on Metacritic, so it's getting a lot of love. And then next week, review embargo has been lifted on Lies of P already, and that comes out next week. This is one of the games I'm very much excited for next week, but that one, just real quick, is currently at 81 on Metacritic. So this past, I guess, year has been the craziest year that I could remember in video games, as far as like all these games that come out are like, none of them are stinkers really. A small percentage of them. It's pretty crazy, especially this past 4 months. Like, it's been insane. So it's a lot of work, dude. We got a lot of work here.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting award season.
Oh, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. We're going to have to do our own Gaming News Weekly Awards to, get the hype going. All right. It's time for news. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Let's talk about our news of the week. Okay, so last week, PlayStation and Nintendo both had directs on the same day. It was pretty crazy. Nintendo's was in the morning, PlayStation was in the afternoon, so we had time to really soak it all in. Let's talk about the PlayStation 1 first. So this one was pretty quick. It was maybe only a half hour. Showed mostly third-party games and nothing really new. there's one thing that was new, and I'm excited to get your take on this. Baby Steps. The
Baby Steps, yeah.
new Bennett Foddy game, Foddy, I don't know how you pronounce his name. This is what started, it kicked off the whole direct with this weird walking simulator. And I was like, it looks to me like you're controlling the movement, the walking, and because it was very difficult. These guys kept falling down. What was your thought on this one?
It looks interesting. It's funny to watch that trailer. It's definitely not the first game to do something like that. I think there's a game called like I Am Bread where you have to control each corner of the bread and make your way around the world. But this one, it looks way more atmospheric than I've ever seen in a game like that. So I'm sure there's probably a lot of weird, funny details packed into this world that I'd like to see.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be same with like, you know, Getting Over It, how Getting Over It was such a popular game in the streaming community. I think this one's going to be the same thing. You know, it's just going to be like just simple walking and just trying to get from place to place. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when that even comes out. It was like it says summer of 24. So, you know, we got a little bit ways to go. But it looks very interesting. The other big one, not that was the big one, the main big one that they talked about, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They showed a new trailer for that and got a release date of February 29th, 2024. That was like the big announcement to come with this one. And that's going to be also on 2 discs, which is, you know, really much a throwback to the OG Final Fantasy VII. We got some new trailers for Spider-Man 2. There has been a lot of talk. So after this, like a lot of the news outlets got hands-on with a long demo for Spider-Man 2, and the buzz is a buzzin'. A lot of hype for this one. I told you that I was watching some of the hype and everybody talking about how this is going to be bigger, better. This is going to be set the bar for superhero games going forward. And I'm immediately like, okay, I pre-ordered it basically, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to that one next month. There's some DLC that came out for Resident Evil 4, adding Ada Wong as a playable character in RE4, and then talked about the release for VR mode in RE4. Avatar got a new trailer. It's going to be interesting to see how that one does. I don't know if many people want to play Avatar, but the game graphically, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. That comes out December 7th. But, you know, maybe by then that window of, like, you know, games will be a little more open and Avatar won't be a bomb. One of my favorite things that they showed was not even games. It was a new lineup of controllers and faceplates for the PlayStation 5. Some beautiful, very well done trailer with some beautiful looking colors. Those come out in the next few months. And then they talked about Roblox coming for PS4. I know you were really hyped for that. You got all your Robux that are just burning a hole in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And they talked about a few VR games, Helldivers and Ghostbusters we got to look at. An exciting one, Foam Stars. We're going to get a beta for that. So September 29th, put it on your calendar, dude. We're going to be in there. We're going to be spraying people down with our foam.
Yeah. So this was that one we saw a preview of that had, it was like Splatoon,
right?
PlayStation's version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to get in there. We're going to do it. We're going to foam everybody up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it showed more of how it works and like the characters and their special abilities and stuff. I'm like, all right, I could get behind this. We'll see. And then Tales of Arise, they showed getting a new expansion for all you JRPG fans. So that was pretty much it from the PlayStation 1. Anything there excite you at all?
Definitely the walking game, but baby steps. But I was going to ask you about that Ghostbusters game for the PlayStation VR 2. Now, did you end up getting the VR 2? I
do. Yes, I haven't. Okay. I haven't used it very frequently, which is the same problem I had with the last one.
Yeah. There was that asymmetrical Ghostbusters game that came out earlier this year or last year.
Yeah.
Was that on PlayStation, or does that look different enough from this game?
It looks very much the same. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same engine. Because it does. I was like, oh, they're moving that to VR, but I think this one is. I don't know if it's an asymmetrical game as opposed to just a co-op like campaign. But I don't have any friends that play PlayStation VR, so I saw this. I was like, oh, Ghostbusters VR, and then I was like, oh, but it's like you got to like work with your friends to catch ghosts. I'm like, that's not me. I ain't got no friends. But yeah, and the other one, the asymmetrical one for console, was fun. But again, better if you like have a group of friends that you're playing with. And I was only playing solo, so we'll see how this one is. All right, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct. Again, not a lot of big new announcements. More looks at some other stuff that had been previously announced. One announcement, though, that we did get was a remaster of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Do you ever play this game?
No.
Yeah, it's very much beloved in the Nintendo community as far as what it does and how it plays in that style of game. So watching the trailer, and I'm like, man, why did I not play this? It looks awesome. So I'm hoping to check it out when the remaster does come out, because it looks fun. I think my kid's gonna really like it too.
Do you know which console it originally came out on? Was it like Wii or GameCube?
That's a good question. I think it was GameCube, if I'm remembering. Yeah, it was. I remember the game. So I used to work at Toys R Us, and I worked there, I believe, when this game was initially out. And I think I remember the case. So, yeah. So that was the big announcement. They also announced that Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake is going to be coming to Nintendo Switch. This is like a puzzle game. Again, I wasn't familiar with this game, but this is coming out in February of 2024. A shadow drop. They always like to do this at those things. Available right now. F-Zero 99. So this is the next in the 99 grouping of games, which are basically their version of their free-to-play like battle royales on existing titles. So they have like the Tetris 99, the Mario 99, and now F-Zero 99. So it's like 99 people that are playing and slowly getting knocked out.
Yeah, this one's strange. It's the first time I think I've ever seen like a racing battle royale.
Yeah, and I'm hearing like I haven't checked it out or whatever, and I want to watch some gameplay of it. But everybody that's playing it said like this is a fleshed out like game. It's not just them slapping the 99 on it. They're saying it's really well done, and the F-Zero, it plays real nice too. So it looks interesting. But that's for if you have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription. Another cool one, the Princess Peach Showtime got a release date, March 22nd, 2024. So this is basically Princess Peach's, game. Similar to like a Mario-style platformer, except Princess Peach. Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 are all being remastered for the Nintendo Switch. It's coming out February 14th. And this one I did see is also coming out on other consoles as well. But I was like, oh, sweet, they're remastering this game. And then they showed like the upgraded visuals. I'm like, it still looks like shit.
Yes.
That's how old this game is. There's not much you can do to it, really.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is if like the younger generation who grew up on the fully fleshed out 3D Lara Croft goes back and plays this game, they're going to be like, how did these old people play this?
Yeah, exactly. You can't even see the contours of her bosoms. But yeah, so that one I believe is on all consoles. Luigi's Mansion 2, we got another trailer for, along with Splatoon and the Prince of Persia game. We got new trailers for those. Super Mario RPG new trailer, and talked about November 17th release date for that. That's a big one. I know everybody in the Nintendo community is super hyped for that Super Mario RPG remake. And then they announced some games that are out on other consoles or PC that are making their way over to Nintendo Switch. So Trombone Champ, the classic trombone playing game, is coming to Nintendo Switch, as well as the classic diving slash sushi restaurant game, Dave the Diver, is coming over to Nintendo Switch in October. So that's pretty cool. What else? Unicorn Overlord. This one is exciting. A new tactical RPG from the developer behind 13 Sentinels. They showed a trailer for that. Looks interesting. I liked the name, Unicorn Overlord. I think I'll play anything called that. I don't even care what it is. I'm going to play it. We got a new trailer for WarioWare. Those are exciting games. You ever play those?
No.
They're just ridiculous, like 2-second mini games. They're just like, here, pick your nose. And then you move on. A bunch of other stuff, like little things, Amiibos and that sort of thing. So yeah, not a full, like, crazy direct, but packed with information. Anything there get you hyped?
I'm just not into the Switch that much anymore. I mean, if I had a good game that is best or only available on Switch, I'd probably pick it up at some point. But yeah, it's like we were talking about before when they had more Mario games announced. A lot of that is just seems like it's made for little kids. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to be picking any of those up.
Yeah. So you have a Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
What then has been, like, what game did you play on it the most when you had it?
So it's mostly my wife's console there. So she was playing a lot of Animal Crossing, and I played a lot of Animal Crossing too when she wasn't. And then the same with Disney Dreamlight Valley. I helped her a lot on her playthrough of that.
Gotcha. Did you ever play like Mario Odyssey or the Donkey Kong games or Kirby or anything?
Yeah,
on them?
Yeah, a little bit of Mario Odyssey and the newer Kirby game.
Gotcha. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. Like, it gets to a point now. I'm mostly interested in this stuff because it's the kind of the stuff that my kid I could see getting into. So, but yeah, personally, especially now that I have the Steam Deck for my handheld stuff, like, this stuff is interesting, and I could see myself playing it or playing it with my son. But yeah, it's not really moving the needle for me too much. But especially, like, I don't know. It's the end of the console life cycle, right? So we're not expecting huge releases or huge announcements. So as far as when you take that into consideration, the fact that they're still having these directs with a bunch of new game announcements, it's impressive. But yeah, I was hoping for that Switch 2 announcement.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to keep on waiting for that one. Next up, possibly the biggest scandal to hit the video game industry this year. Unity, the game engine creator, has initiated some price changes. Now, this is a big thing. There's a lot of things that go with this. So we'll try our best to flesh this out. So basically, they introduced a Unity runtime fee. Here, I'll read the quote from Unity. It says, "We are introducing a Unity runtime fee that is based upon each time a qualifying game is downloaded by an end user. We chose this because each time a game is downloaded, the Unity runtime is also installed. Also, we believe that an initial install-based fee allows creators to keep the ongoing financial gains from player engagement, unlike a revenue share." This is scheduled to take place January 1st, 2024. And now exactly what it is, it's that, so there's these tiers. Now, if a developer is using the free personal Unity package, and they have a project that passes $200,000 in revenue in 12 months and 200,000 lifetime installations. After that, Unity charges a 20-cent per install fee for that runtime fee. And it will be detected by Unity's detection thing. And then for levels above that, depending on which package of the Unity engine they have, the price varies. But this is like the base version. This is the one that's going to be affecting pretty much mostly the indie game developers. So now this being announced caused a huge uproar within gaming community, the indie games community. So now let's talk about the Unity engine. Like, so if you've played a mobile game, you've seen that logo, Unity, because they are 80% of the mobile games out there use the Unity engine. I mean, Pokemon Go, Genshin Impact, I think the Call of Duty mobile, like the biggest games on mobile use this engine. And then games like Among Us, Cuphead, and most recently like Dave the Diver, Sea of Stars. These are all Unity engine based games. There's so many of them out there. And this is a fee that they're imposing on the installs that it's not going to be like, so they're not going to go back and charge it on installs that already took place. But any game that uses the Unity engine that still exists in the world, if it gets installed, say you bought this game 10 years ago and you install it after January 1st, that company's paying that 20 cents at the, at the minimum of whatever their threshold is. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like the world, the gaming world, like lost their mind. They were talking about, so what about, I mean, because there's a lot of what ifs with this. One of them being what if my game is on Game Pass and I get immediately, there's how many millions user base that have Game Pass. I'm going to get all these installs. They're not paying for the game. They got that money from Microsoft. Say they got $300,000 to put their game on Game Pass, then they're going to get charged for that. They later walked that back, saying that, now we're going to go back and forth a couple times because there's a lot of what ifs that they might have gone back on, saying that no, the people. So they said that Microsoft is going to pay that fee. Or same thing with PlayStation Plus, that Sony's going to pay that fee. Or say it's in a subscription service model, like a Humble Bundle or something. So if that's part of that, no, the Humble Bundle is going to pay that fee. And now they just said that. Like there has been no rebuttal from Microsoft or PlayStation or any of those services that are going to accrue hundreds of thousands of dollars if they decide to put a Unity engine game on Game Pass, Yeah.
And I think like one of the biggest reasons people are freaking out about this is, could this be weaponized? If you don't like a developer, if you're salty because the game isn't exactly what you thought it would be, and we know that gamers get like this, could you then set up a bunch of, I forget what they're called.
Like a bot or something that is just going to keep installing
just a network of like sandbox PCs that you could install this over and over to and try to run up a massive bill for that company even though you're not even paying for it.
Right. So that was one of the questions that developers had. So the questions that developers had right off the bat: what about charity bundles? What about demos? What about multiple installs like that? So Unity did come out with the FAQ talking about this, and I'll read you some of the points from that FAQ. They said, first of all, they started off by saying that this is not going to affect most customers, and more than 90% of our customers will not be affected by this change, meaning that they're targeting the big, like Among Us or something like that that's just getting like tens of millions of downloads that will then have to pay this fee. But they also said that there is a fee on new installs only. Because once you meet the two install and revenue thresholds, you only pay the runtime fee on new installs. It's not perpetual. You only pay once for an install, not an ongoing perpetual license royalty like a revenue share model. And then they said, how do we define and count the installs? Assuming the install and revenue thresholds are met, it says developers are not responsible for paying a runtime fee on reinstall charges, fraudulent install charges. It says we are not going to charge a fee for fraudulent installs. We will work directly with you on cases where fraud or botnets are suspected of malicious intent. And then they will not charge on trials, partial play demos, and automation installs. It says they're not going to count these towards your install count. But like games that are like a early access, or say you have a demo that you can then unlock the full game, those are counted. But let's get back to all of this. How? So they're counting their own thing. Like, do we trust Unity's metrics when counting this? You know?
Yeah. So you're talking about probably a tracker being installed in that Unity runtime so that when it's downloaded by somebody, the thing is, like, how are they going to actually know the difference between somebody's first installation if they don't have any other metric than it's being installed on this PC and maybe the specs of the PC it's being installed on, but you don't necessarily have like a Steam account or a PlayStation or Xbox account? I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully they wouldn't get caught lying about it, but you know, they seem a little money hungry at this point.
Yeah, it's like, so even then, like, so if I have, if I bought the game and I could download it on, get it on one, multiple PC, I get it on a PC, on a Steam Deck, and anything else, those are all separate installs. Even paying for the game once, they're then accruing these fees on all these other installs. So, like, another thing was, like, what about free-to-play games? Like, the free-to-play model where you can go download this game, and someone posted a tweet that had a really good breakdown. It says they make a game. The game is a freemium game, makes $200,000 from in-app purchases, so thus qualifying for this initial threshold, and then it was downloaded 3 million times. So now they owe Unity 20 cents per 2.8 million installs, $560,000, and that's $360,000 more than they made overall.
Yeah.
So they're
a little slight flaw in that logic, because the other $2.8 million or 2.8 million installs are probably going to net you more money after that.
I mean, yeah, if they're, and again, that all depends on like the freemium model with the, say, only a handful of people want one skin in the game. You got, everybody's paying $1 for this one skin or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's really like, it's pretty crazy. But going back to like these, making Game Pass or PlayStation responsible for this, like, I don't see this going over well with them, especially when you look at how many Unity Engine games are on the service right now. Come January 1st, every time someone wants to check out one of those games, Sony or Microsoft or whoever are going to pay this. Like, I could see some big time lawyers stepping up and being like, we're not doing that. Like, because what are they going to, like, what is Unity going to do? This is something that this is a terms of service that they just created long after the fact that, like, these games, I saw someone else say, like, okay, what if you leased a car, signed a contract with all the terms on there, and then they call you up and say, you know what, we're changing your contract, we're charging you more every time you start the car.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I mean, technically speaking, I guess it depends on if there's a clause in there where they reserve the right to do this if they want to, and you still signed it anyway. I mean, you hope that a company doesn't do this, and if they do, we should reward them justly.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So real quick, one thing, they did also say that they will waive the fee 100% if these companies switch over to Unity's Level Play ad platform. So now this gives Unity control about the ads that are being injected into the games. Now this is mostly for mobile games, which, again, like we said, Unity is a huge part of. So, and people are saying that's an attempt to destroy another main competitor within the mobile game ad market. And yeah, it's pretty crazy that they're really just holding these and small companies hostage that, put a decent game out on a mobile thing, and they're like, okay, well, fine, you either give us money. It's like a mafia tactic. Pay us this, or here, you work for us now, and we're going to put these ads in your game. We're going to say when the ads pop up. We're going to say what the ads are. So it's pretty crazy, this whole thing.
And we see people talking about pulling their games off the platforms because they're afraid that they're going to maybe cross that threshold and be in trouble. Or maybe even the current games being worked on, they'll have to delay those games and rework them from scratch over in a different engine, like Unreal Engine or something like that.
Right? Yeah, so there
Could cause delays.
was, I don't remember which developer started it, but there is a website that says, it was like, I, what the hell was it? It was something about, it was a super long URL, and it was like, I have to move from Unity Engine to UnrealEngine.com or whatever. It's like one of the developers created that. But yeah, like you said, like, so, I mean, everybody's been waiting for Silksong, the new Hollow Knight game, after years and years of development. And the guy just said, the developer just said, I don't care how many more years it's going to take. Like, if this is the way it is, we'll put this whole game that's near finished, we'll build it in another engine. Like, it's pretty crazy. So many developers came out, and it was really interesting seeing all the responses. I'm going to run through a few of them. One of them that was great was Cult of the Lamb. Basically just said, buy Cult of the Lamb now because we're deleting it on January 1st. So, like, that, and Devolver Digital put a tweet out that says, definitely include what engine you're using in game pitches. Because, yeah, I mean, this is like, it's crazy watching the Unity, which has been a major engine for all these years, within 3 days, destroy everything that they've built. Just so quickly. Just watch it. Like, nobody is going to build on this engine, even if they walked back all of these announcements, because, like, we see who they are now and what type of company this is, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of it came out when they became a publicly traded company, where it's like, okay, well, we're just in it trying to make this money. So,
Yeah, and have you seen what's supposedly going on in the background with the stocks?
I did. I didn't include that. So we'll preface this. So the owner of the company sold off, like, I don't know, 2,000 shares of stocks prior to this announcement. But I did read that was a planned thing going into it. There's still a lot of skepticism about the timing and everything.
Yeah.
But it was like planned bonuses or something.
One of the other dudes who's like head of strategy or something like that there apparently sold off about $3 million worth of stocks too.
Oh shit, I didn't see that one. That's crazy. So yeah, I recommend, like, just Google, like, Unity devs, like, controversy, because there are so many people, like, that took to, not Twitter, X. I feel so dumb saying that. I hate saying X. Talking about this, like, Aggro Crag, they talked about, like, they were just getting ready to release another Crab's Treasure. It's going to be on Game Pass, and now they're like, okay, how is this going to work? And again, like, the Game Pass thing came out, but I don't know how it's going to happen with any of these. Megacrit, the developer of Slay the Spire, they said that they were using Unity, and now they're going to move to a new engine and start all over again. Crazy. They said, despite the immense amount of time and effort our team has already poured into development on our new title, we'll be migrating to a new engine unless the changes are completely reverted and protections are put in place. Dude, no one's going to be using Unity anymore. It's crazy.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So, on top of all that, then the next day, they closed their offices because there was a bomb threat that was made. Supposedly, now it hasn't been, there's nothing official, it was from one of the employees of that that part of that branch of Unity. Oh. So, yeah, I don't know. But it's falling apart, man. It's a mess. So it'll be interesting to see if they do walk back any of that. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like they're more doubling down, saying, like, no, like, you've got it all wrong. This isn't affecting you, when it clearly is and will. So, it's a mess.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm reading everything correctly, a big company with plenty of money who's making plenty of money off of a game should have no problem if they had to cover this. But if the indie people, the smaller devs, and people making freemium games, this would turn a flop into potential bankruptcy.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. If they get hit those thresholds and then have to start paying for these installs, like there are a lot of companies that are worried, like saying like, okay, we put, if you're gonna just bill us, like it's gonna be a bill. It says here you owe us this. It's not gonna be like, here and there. It's gonna be a giant bill. It's gonna come at them, depending on what they've made and how they pay out their developers. Like, yeah, they could absolutely go bankrupt from a game becoming semi-popular. It's crazy. Yeah. So one more thing about that, I did see, so Unreal Engine put out a statement saying there are no charges for if you come use our engine. Like there's 5% after the first $1 million in revenue. So he said, like, if you make $1,001 on a game, you owe us 5 cents. Like that's what they tweeted out, and it was just like, come here, come use Unreal Engine. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more games on that engine in the future.
That's way more reasonable. It is a much better relationship between the developers and the game engine company.
Absolutely. All right, let's move along. PS Plus, the new catalog update was announced. So starting on September 19th, if you are a part of the Extra and Premium subscription service, you can get Nier Replicant, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Star Ocean, The Divine Force, Sniper, Ghost Warrior, Contracts 2, Odin Sphere, Life. I think I got that one right. Unpacking, Planet Coaster Console Edition, This War of Mine Final Cut, Cloudpunk, Contra Rogue Corps, Tales Noir, Call of the Sea, West of Dead, Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness, and Paw Patrol the Movie, Adventure City Calls, all if you have the Extra plan. If you have Premium as well, you get Star Ocean First Departure R, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Star Ocean The Last Hope, and Dragon's Crown Pro. What are your thoughts on this lineup?
That's I hate to say it, a very weak list for my taste.
Yeah. Dude, so you're coming off a huge controversial announcement where you're raising the price. And this is, again, I was like, okay, maybe they're going to be like, wow, here's some big games coming at you. Garbage. They give you a bunch of garbage. So, yeah, very weak lineup. I think, like, for me, Unpacking, like, I'll probably play that one. I've played it. I've played it and done it 100% like 3 times, but now I could get trophies for it. So
yeah, Unpacking would be cool. The only other one that really speaks to me there is maybe
Paw
Planet
Patrol.
Coaster.
Oh,
yeah,
that was
that too.
Yeah, Planet Coaster was my other one. Yeah, I haven't played like a good like theme park builder in a while. So yeah, that's funny that you and I had the same ones. And I know Nier Replicant is a very good game and everybody loves it, but yeah, just not for me right now. All right, and then we're talking about PlayStation Plus, let's talk about Game Pass. So the Game Pass Core, which was previously Xbox Live, announced their 36 core games that they're going to have offered. So you subscribe to this service, it's $60 for the year, $10 for a month, and it nets you 36 games like that are available all the time. And they will be updating them a couple times a year, it said. They are, real fast, here we go. Among Us, Astroneer, Celeste, Dead Cells, Descenders, Dishonored 2, Doom Eternal Standard Edition, Fable Anniversary, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Firewatch, Forza Horizon 4, Gang Beasts, Gears 5, Golf with Your Friends, Grounded, Halo 5, Halo Wars 2, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, Human Fall Flat, Inside, Limbo, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Overcooked 2, Payday 2, Power Wash Simulator, Psychonauts 2, Slay the Spire, Spiritfarer, Stardew Valley, State of Decay 2, Superliminal, The Elder Scrolls Online, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, Unpacking, and Vampire Survivors. Now that's a list of games.
Makes you feel bad for Sony.
Dude, I would be very happy with just those 36 games in for the core thing. There are so many fantastic games on this list.
Yeah, I mean, there are games on this list that I've wanted to try out for a while, like Grounded, Limbo and Inside, I have played those. Great games. Human Fall Flat, been wanting to play that for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally just play like Slay the Spire and Vampire Survivors for 6 months and be content. Like just those two games, like throw in a little Power Wash Simulator, some Hellblade, some Gears, dude. It's a good lineup of games.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know what Golf with Your Friends is particularly, but I think everything else on this list has to be like an 8 out of 10 minimum.
Right, yeah, exactly. And it's got something for everybody. You got Forza if you want to do racing, or like, Psychonauts for platformer, Slay the Spire for a card game, like Superliminal puzzle game. Like, it's got everything. You got your shooters in Gears and Halo. So, yeah, it's a great game. And then, Fallout 4. You could just go and play Fallout 4 or Fable for hours, I'm sure. So, yeah, it's a really cool, amazing list that they're offering. And, for just $60 for a year, you could have all those games and potentially new ones somewhere down the line. All right, that's it from me. Do you got anything else you want to talk about?
Nothing else. We've covered it all.
We really did. We're at we're close to an hour here. We talked about a lot of the highs and lows this week. Some big highs, some big lows, and now we're gonna go just hang out. So thanks so much for checking out this episode of Gaming News Weekly. You can find this show as a podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Like I said, GNW, type that in. I promise you get this. You click download, you click subscribe, you get all the podcast episodes straight to your iPod Nano or your Zune. I don't know how that works. Do Zunes still exist?
Maybe. I don't know if they make new ones.
Yeah, I don't even know how. I don't think you can get podcasts on a Zune, because that was a whole different thing. It was a iPod, which hence podcasts. It wasn't a Zunecast. Were there Zunecasts?
Sure.
This is a whole
Probably
thing.
not by name.
Or check out the premiere video edition. You can find that on Fruit Lab. That's a great website where you can watch video clips, post video clips of gaming content, whatever content. And you earn pips. It's a cryptocurrency used to, you buy video games. I just cashed out. I got $100 for PlayStation Plus I'm going to use towards Spider-Man 2, baby. It's very exciting. Or you can just check out the old faithful YouTube. Find this show at Pop Culture Playground. You can find Full Clip pimping his wares over at GameFAQs, GameFAX. And then check us out on Instagram or TikTok. Daily content over at those spots. Keep you informed on all the things that you need to know about. What else? You been doing anything on Twitch lately?
Not a lot, but man, I'm gearing up. I just bought the China DLC for Car Mechanic Simulator 2021.
Ooh.
I'm thinking of just doing a stream where I redo all 4 cars.
Nice. Go check him out on Twitch. FullClip_FL over there. Building cars and breaking hearts. All right. I think that's it, right? Did we do everything?
That's everything.
All right. Sounds good. Let's get out of here. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.